Good. Welcome to our webinar this month. I can't believe it, in the middle of, end of August already. Anyway, you can see there by the topic, why women's investment strategies must cater for increased longevity. We obviously celebrated Women's Day on the 9th of August, and we're coming to the end of Women's Month. But the whole idea today is that you guys know that on average, women live approximately 6 years longer than men, which is often attributed to their healthier lifestyles. Also, given that women are more likely to be financially self-reliant in their later years, it is crucial to prepare adequately for retirement. And that's obviously the whole crux of this webinar today. So please join me. My name is Sean van den Berg. I'm an investment specialist at PSG Wealth, and my goal today is to discuss the unique challenges that women face in tailoring. Oh, my tongue-tied today. Tailoring financial plans that cater for extended lifespans and also help secure a comfortable retirement. So this is the agenda. If I can get to the next slide. There we go. So as always, we've got our 3 little points there. But today, as I said, today's webinar, we're looking at how women can build a strong investment strategy and portfolio, and ideas there to help them achieve their lifetime goals. So therefore, it's important, and this is, again, the reason for this webinar is to increase awareness around the impact of savings and obviously the pension gaps or the retirement gaps, the retirement fund gaps we have, and investigate how best to invest to aim for a lifetime objectives, your goals as such. Okay, so we all know those. Well, let's talk about those stats. Let's talk about those facts. Preparing for longevity is important for all of us, but particularly women who not only live longer than men, but also face unique financial hurdles throughout life. So let's look at some facts, some I call them stats. On average, as I mentioned just now, women live 6 years longer than men. In fact, 77% of people who are widowed are women. Furthermore, by the age of 85, women outnumber men 2 to 1. And most centurions, okay, those are people that reach the age of 100 years old, 85, a staggering 85% of those people are women. So why are these facts important? Well, because longevity needs to be a factor in everyone's financial planning. It's crucial, especially for women. And the reality is that women are more likely than men to be alone and financially self-reliant. Okay, so yeah, I think it's just self-explanatory there. So in addition, women may wind up spending some of their nest egg, and we'll talk about this in the next slide, their savings on a partner's health or end of life care costs before, and obviously the straining finances that they don't really have or are ill prepared for. Do you know that 64% of women say they'd like to live to 100, but that 60% of those women fear that they'll run out of money if they experience such longevity. So 42% of women are afraid they'll run out of cash by the age of 80. So all these little stats. So the bottom line is that you don't want to run out of money, and this is what we're going to talk about today. So first of all, let's look at the essential considerations. Let me just move my mouse to the next slide. There we go. So first of all, obviously, the unique burdens that women need to be aware of, preparing for their lives, for their retirement. I mentioned just now, obviously, that we live longer, but it also involves more expenses during retirement, especially medical aid costs. And I was amazed when I was doing my research on this, that when it comes to call it retirement planning and things like that, but 43% of women do not know how much they will need to pay for healthcare during retirement. The nature of medical aid premiums being what they are, retirees can realistically expect, this I got from Discovery's website, that their healthcare budget line item the healthcare item will be the biggest thing on the monthly spend every month. Historically, we know that medical aid contributions outstrip consumer inflation between 3 and 5% each year without considering the additional expenses that arise because of aging, such as private nursing, assisted living, frail care, and medical devices. Saying it also, do you know that, I was amazed when I read this, do you know that the full-time home nursing can range between 16,000 and 30,000 per month? Well, full-time accommodation at a high-end dementia care facility can cost between 50,000 and 75,000 Rand per month. So there's also other hidden costs. Things like home alterations, safety-related expenses, security gates, panic buttons, other lifestyle modifications. All those kind of things you need to take in consideration. But also saying that 75% of caregivers are women. So, women are called upon to play many roles in life, particularly as a caregiver. So first of all, they are caregivers to the children, and later on, maybe to the aging parents, and also perhaps to a ailing spouse. So women play many roles, as I say, as a caregiver. They can be a hands-on health provider, a care manager, a friend, a companion, a surrogate decision maker, an advocate. So all these things, obviously, all these types of career breaks can add up, and obviously that leads on to the next question, that you might be forced to retire early because of the caregiving roles, but also that obviously makes financial planning more critical, and things like that. But saying it also, we also find, and we'll go into more slides just now, that we find that a lot of women have too much money saved up in savings or in cash instead of investing it. Obviously, they're a bit more prudent. They don't want to lose their money and things like that. But there's other ways of doing it. Okay, so let's look at the next one. So what are the golden rules? And I have spoken about this in many other presentations before. These are, call it the golden rules, or call it the fundamentals of investing and saving. Last month we spoke about the difference between investing and saving, but just to highlight again, make an early start. The earlier you start, the better. You can take advantage of compound growth, and you'll see some slides on that just now. Stay committed, and this is what I find important. You stay committed for the long term. Retirement savings is a long-term goal. It requires a consistent commitment over many years. Saving for 40 years is a recommended time horizon. If you start working at the age of 25, the idea of retiring at the age of 65, that's a 40-year time horizon. Okay, so the idea is that you want to build up sufficient funds for retirement, but you want to stay dedicated to that goal and consistently invest. Okay, and that goes to the next point here. Do not withdraw your retirement pot. So yes, on 1st of September, we have a new two-pot system. You can take some money out of your retirement fund, and obviously you'll have less funds at the retirement, but do not do that. And also, if you might be retrenched, or you might resign from your job. A lot of people take their some of that retirement funds out, and they yes, they want to pay off debt and things like that, but try not to do that. So number one, you're obviously making your pot smaller. Number two, you're going to be penalized with, especially with taxes. Okay, so beware of those kind of things. And obviously invest for the long term. We spoke about that already. And then also, the idea is that you need to get your money to work for you. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. The importance of comprehensive financial planning. And I think this is what I could spend a lot of time on in this presentation. Why? Financial planning is one of the most effective actions a woman can take to ensure her financial independence and happiness. Okay, no matter whether you are young or mature, married, single, living in a little dorpy or in a big city like Joburg or Cape Town, financial planning should be a top priority for you. Okay, so financial planning, what it is it's just a map to the future you've always dreamed about. Okay, it can help you achieve your short and long-term goals in many ways. So let's talk about it in more detail. So what is a financial plan? As it says, there's a living document, shows you where you stand today, and obviously where you want to be in the future. So that's a strategy. It's to help you meet your goals. So you can either do it by yourself, or you can use a financial advisor. But But the whole idea of the financial plan is to help you avoid making costly mistakes. That's what it's all about. So the idea that it's not only just like a budgeting exercise or a hands-off investment strategy. Considers all your assets, your retirement savings, your future, whether that's purchasing a home or starting a family or traveling or getting married, or tying the knot. So working with a financial planner or a company that's got a holistic financial plan or advisory, call it an advisory firm, offers you everything from investments to estate planning services. And obviously the whole idea is to help you create a comprehensive financial plan that addresses all your dreams and lifestyle. So that's the idea there. A good financial plan will consider all of that. Okay, that's an ongoing process. So obviously you need to revise your plan at least once a year, because your priorities will change, and obviously your financial realities also will shift. Okay, so yeah, that's what is financial plan. So why do women need to take part in financial planning? I think this is the biggest thing about this, and I see it all the time. Widows would phone me and say, no, my husband used to handle the portfolio, they don't know how to do it. I did it yesterday. You know, a lady phoned in and said, no, she needs to sell some of her shares. Her husband always used to do it, doesn't know what shares to sell, etc. So I see it all the time. So the idea here is that you need to understand the finances, okay, especially if you're married. You understand the finances and be prepared to manage the retirement accounts one day or the investment accounts one day. So the whole idea is that you're financially ready for any contingency, and that you have enough financial independence to stand on your own 2 feet one day. So understand, and we'll talk about it a bit just now, but some of the terms that people use, you know, asset allocation and diversification. We have spoken about these things also before. And I touched on it just now about risk aversion. So women are not putting all their savings to work. Yes, they are a bit more conservative, but they're also missing out on a lot of potential gains. You know, so they are as I said, fearful of incurring some big losses. They're not impulsive, and obviously this is where they might miss out on opportunities. So it leads to paralysis, analysis paralysis, call it that. But obviously, again, that's when they miss out opportunities. So and lastly, there you can see at the bottom there, different priorities. You need to get involved, put it that way. You know, you need to be involved in the financial planning process with your husband, with your spouse, and then obviously you stand up for yourself. That's the whole idea, and I think women need to do this more and more. And then you have financial planners for women. So the whole idea about a financial plan is that it speeds up the process. Okay, it speeds up savings. It helps you, you know, yeah, South Africa, we're poor savers, put it that way. And with a financial plan, now you've got a strategy can help you towards that. So if you're even putting 5% of your income away every month is better than putting 10% away this month and skipping for a few months. So the idea is to be doing it consistently. If you've got a financial plan, you've got a debit order in place. It's a start, better than nothing, put it that way. Okay. Number two is obviously it also helps you strategically. So you hopefully be using the right vehicles, investment vehicles. You know, you want to have your money just sitting in the bank. As an emergency fund, you want to have your money working for you in other investments, and we have spoken about this before. And obviously, a financial plan helps you achieve your goals and dreams and avoid those nightmares. You know, you want to be in a situation where you know you haven't got a plan in place, and you're lost and you're overwhelmed. So that's basically what a financial plan will do for you. Okay, and then why should you approach a female financial advisor? So this might be a bit tricky, a bit controversial, but let me put it this way. You know, women have unique needs, priorities, and obviously conversational styles. So they care more about the portfolio performances, as I mentioned just now, not so much the numbers, and they care more about achieving their goals. So, so you might not want to be involved with someone who's just promoting big returns all the time. You might get more confused, and all you want to do is walk away with more knowledge. Okay, so you want to be in a situation where your fears are validated, your concerns are addressed, your unique investment style is taken consideration, and that obviously takes a lot of patience. And this is where a female financial advisor will get that. She's been there, done that, also been the same boat as you. You know, so they've been talked down to you. They might have been reduced by the gender or the age, or ignored because they were a single mother, or didn't have they weren't big, huge contributors to the family, whatever the case might be. But your female financial advisor won't just laugh off your questions. She'll get involved with you, and I'm not saying that a male financial advisor won't do that, but I think you'll have more alignment. You use that word, alignment with a financial advisor, a female financial advisor. Okay, and if you go onto our website, you'll find financial advisors. You can look for financial advisors. You can look them up, and you can see the different female financial advisors. You'll see the photograph and a little bio about them. That's a big help for a lot of women investors. Okay. And then let's talk about increasing investments that meet your retirement goals. So you might be in a situation where, you first of all, you need to ensure that you have enough income to last in retirement. How much would you need? And we've touched on this before in previous in webinars and things like that. So you can use your current expenses as a starting point, but note that your expenses may change by the time you retire. So what you can also do, you can find out what you can expect or to receive from your pension or your provident plan, at number one. And number two, if you had to become widowed or divorced, all the life policies and things like that. So there's also as a starting point to be aware of those kind of numbers. So then you obviously have a retirement goal in place, and then you want to save regularly to achieve that goal, etc. So on our website, on the PSG website, right at the bottom here, you can see where I got us from. There we go. There we go. If you guys can see that, it shows you the link. You'll find there's 3 other calculators there, but this is how I found the retirement calculator. Just say hypothetically you are now 25 years old and you plan to retire at the age of 65, and this is always find a difficult question. In today's money, how much money would you need to live on before tax in today's money? And let's say being 25, 20,000 Rand. It was a pump sack for me. After retirement, I anticipate to live another 30 years. I'm using that example. Okay. So how much have I got saved up right now? Again, hypothetically, let's say I've got saved up 10,000 Rand. Okay. So right now, I am putting 3,000 Rand a month away. Okay. That's what I'm saving now at the age of 25. I'm using an example. Just here it shows you that, to retire at the age of 65, you need to make a contribution of 3,300, so I'm about 300 Rand short of my goal. Okay, and I was playing around with these numbers, even putting 500 Rand. This was much higher. But the point is, I'm trying to highlight here is by saving 3,000 Rand a month, my target was 20,000 Rand before taxes. My goal would be lower. Okay, failing to do that, I need to work a bit longer. Okay, I wanted to retire at age 65, I can only retire 4 years later. So this helps you just to get some perspective. Okay, so interesting little exercise you can play around for yourself on the website. So while prevention is always better than cure, there are strategies that you can employ if you need to start playing catch up. And I think a lot of people have to play catch up on their retirement savings. So what are your options? Obviously, increase your savings rate. If you're only putting 5%, increase it to 10%. If you're putting 10%, increase it to 15%. So if you increase that to at least a quarter or 25% of your income, you have a debit order set in place. You'll be able to ensure consistent contributions. And alternatively, you also try and cut back as much as you can on expenses. Make aggressive investments. So the older you are, obviously they always say the less risk you can take on, but also there's a thing called the rule of 100 minus age. So if you, let's say for example, the age of 65 now, take 100 minus 65, gives you 35% or 35. And that's the amount you can allocate to higher risk or higher growth opportunities like the equity market. So you might have a separate portfolio, 35% of your assets just involved in high risk stuff. So you're separating it. Other 65 obviously more towards call it moderate growth. But that gives you an idea. So that's the idea is that's another way of just increasing your nest egg is to go for more aggressive investments. You can also learn more about the stock market. There's courses you can do. And you bend the odds in your favor. So you start learning more about risk management, diversification, etc. And then I touched it just now. Always avoid cashing out. You're being retrenched or you resign. Do not take your money and spend it. Reinvest it. Okay. Do not cash out. You want to build that nest egg and do not touch it. It's forever savings. Put it that way. Alternatively, you also can, the fourth option there, you consider working longer. You know, it's not ideal, but extending your working years or engaging in, call it informal employment like a side hustle. There's a lot of opportunities now, especially online. You can do it in your spare time. Can obviously give you some more money, some more extra money to save and things like that. In South Africa, it's becoming far more common for people to work past the traditional retirement age. Yeah, they can either be full-time or part-time. And obviously the whole idea is to bolster your savings. Okay. You don't want to be in a situation where you, as I said just now, the nightmare is where you have to rely on your children to support you. That's my biggest nightmare. I don't want to be in that situation. Okay, so I have used this slide before in previous webinars just to show you what you would need, what contributions you would need to reach 10 million in assets. The earlier you start, the better. You can start at the age of 20 or 500 Rand a month. Okay, if you start at the age of 40, you need to be putting nearly 5,000 Rand a month away. You need 10 times more. Okay, 20 years later. Okay, so the earlier you start, the better. Okay. So just making sure that's the whole idea is that you're taking advantage of compound growth, you're taking advantage of rank cost averaging, etc. Okay, and then just lastly, before we move on to the summary, now I've run out of time a bit. Understand these important don'ts. Don't do this. Don't avoid the planning process. Saving for comfortable retirement is difficult. But if you pay, and I've said this before, if you pay yourself first, it just pays off in the end. So it's advantage. Don't rely on your spouse. Take an active role in planning for retirement. And I'm how can I say, relating again the same story, but I want to reinforce that for you. So you want to be in a situation where you're not forced to make financial decisions quickly during a period of crisis. It just helps you to be more informed. It gives you that peace of mind that you're in control. Okay, so this is why that planning is so important. And then this point here, number 3, quite contentious, but don't prioritize your children's education over your retirement. Children have many options to obviously when it comes to financing their education. They can look at study loans and grants and scholarships and bursaries. And the point here is there is no such thing as a retirement loan. Okay, so make sure that your retirement is in place first. And then obviously don't neglect to learn the basis of investing, as I mentioned just now. You need to broaden your investment knowledge. You need to know those terms. What is asset allocation? What is diversification, etc. Understand what your investment products do, the pros and cons, the tax benefits, and etc. So, again, you don't have to do it for yourself. A financial professional will be there gladly to help you with the process. Okay, so quickly in summary, I know I've run out of time here. Women live longer than men, and obviously they have unique financial hurdles. We're aware of that. Those 5 golden rules I wanted to highlight again. It's been around for a long time. Those fundamentals don't change. They've been around for a long time. And then the financial plan, what's important is to have a living document that helps you where you are now and where you want to be, and your financial advisors there to help you. Ideally, if you're a woman, you want to be empowered and gain knowledge and confidence and have a sound financial plan created, ideally consult a female financial advisor. Okay, so guys, before let's hit the questions here, Let me just see. Okay. Yeah. So again, these are just the 3 investment products that we can use, especially if you want to start young. Okay. Let me just see what questions we have here. Questions. No questions. Here's one. There's a question from Sarah. It says, how can I start saving for my 3-year-old daughter? Good question, Sarah. The first of all, obviously, is your retirement fund in place? Have you maxed out your retirement fund? Put it that way. And then obviously the next question would come up from there is affordability. How much can you put away? The ideal investment vehicle would be a tax-free, because all the growth in it will be obviously tax-free, be it capital growth and dividends and income and things like that. But when I said affordability, you know, you could put 36,000 a year away, or ideally 3,000 rand a month to take advantage of rent cost averaging. But the way I look at it, you know, got a lifetime limit of 500,000. Divide that by 36, it gives you, I think it was 13, 14 years. Okay, so if your daughter's 3 now, that'd be an ideal vehicle for her. So by the time it comes to university, you've got a nice little nest egg saved up for it, and that's all, as I say, will be tax free. Alternatively, you can also look at a voluntary investment plan. Obviously, there's no restrictions like in the tax free. You can put as much as you want to. You can start with those 500 rand. Yeah, we have spoken about it before, but obviously there are tax implications. It gives you more flexibility, but there are tax implications. To answer your question, I'll consider maybe the tax-free as a better investment vehicle. Here's another question here from Sergio. Sergio wants to know, where can I learn more about investing? Yeah, Sergio, yeah, good question. There's a lot of places. Obviously, the internet, go Google. Go Google, you know, ask questions, you know, whatever your problem is, but create a question from that, and then you'll find websites for that. You know, Dave Ramsey's website's good. There are a lot. Obviously, I've got a lot of my information from books. I've got a whole library of books and things like that. You can look at a lot of YouTube channels, especially on investing. Yeah, and obviously I'm there to help you too. Drop me an email. There's my email address, wealth@phd.co.za. You can also contact me on that OneStream number, 0860 000 368. Okay, so guys, I think that's it. Doesn't look like there's any other questions. From my side, thank you very much for being on this webinar. Until next month, bye for now.